Hello friends, I welcome you all to the Dark Web Association YouTube channel. Arch Linux is a lightweight, flexible, and powerful Linux distribution that follows 5 key principles: simplicity, modernity, pragmatism, user-centricity, and versatility. Today, we'll see how to easily install Arch Linux on our system. This video may be a bit long, so feel free to watch it at your convenience. Please don't forget to like the video, as it takes a lot of time and effort to make such content. Your support is appreciated. Let's begin by downloading the latest Arch Linux ISO image. Open your browser and navigate to the official Arch Linux website. From the download page, grab the latest ISO file, which is around 1.1 gigabytes. I'll be installing Arch Linux on a virtual machine using KVM. For this demonstration, I've set up a virtual machine on KVM. Now that the machine is created, I'll go ahead and start it. Once it boots, the Arch Linux installation medium will load. After booting, we'll proceed with the setup. First, we need to verify that the internet is working by running the IP-link command. As you can see, the network adapter is detected, and the internet is functioning. We can further test this using the ping command on google.com. Since we're receiving responses, it confirms that the internet is operational. Next, we'll set the nearest mirror server to speed up the download of Arch Linux packages. This is optional. If your internet connection is already fast, you can skip this step. Using a nearby mirror server will ensure quicker downloads, as the packages will be retrieved from the closest server. To do this, we'll use the reflector program. Run the command reflector verbose, country India, sort rate to select and prioritize the fastest mirror servers in India. We'll update our mirror list, located at /etc/pacman.d/mirrorlist. With the mirrors set, we can now synchronize the package database using the command pacman syy. This will update the package databases, and you can see that our internet connection is functioning optimally. Now, let's begin the installation process by partitioning and formatting the disk. I have a 20 GB disk available for this setup. You can use tools like fdisk or gdisk for partitioning, but to keep things simple, we'll use cfdisk. Start cfdisk by typing the command cfdisk, and choose your preferred partition table type, either GPT or DOS. I'll select DOS for this demonstration. Our disk is now ready for partitioning. We'll create 2 partitions, one for the root and one for swap. First, we'll create the root partition. I'll allocate 18 GB to this partition, setting it as a primary partition. Next, we'll create the swap partition with the remaining space. Swap is optional, but it's good practice to create it. We'll designate this partition as a Linux swap. After creating the partitions, we need to write the partition table to the disk by selecting Write and confirming with Yes. Now, let's exit the program. With both partitions created, we can move on to formatting them. To format the root partition, run the command mkfs.ext4/dev/vda1, which will format it with the extension for file system. Similarly, format the swap partition using swap/dev/vda2. Both partitions are now formatted. Now, we'll mount the root partition. To do this, use the command mount/dev/vda1/mnt. Our root partition is now mounted in the /mnt directory. Next, activate the swap partition by running swapn/dev/vda2. With the swap partition enabled, we are ready to install the base system. We'll install the base packages, including the Linux kernel and other essential components. You can also install additional packages like sudo, nano, or vim. To begin the installation, run the command pacstrap/mn base Linux firmware. This will take some time, depending on your internet speed, as around 515 megabytes of packages will be downloaded. If you encounter errors with certain mirror servers, feel free to switch to another one. Once the installation is complete, the base Arch Linux system will be in place on our root partition. Now, we'll configure the system, starting with the generation of the fstab file. Use the command gen-fstab, /mnt/mn/etc/fstab to generate the file, which will be saved in the /mnt/etc directory. With that done, we can now switch to the newly installed system by running arch-crut/mnt. We are now operating within our new root system. Next, we'll proceed with basic system configurations like setting the time zone and language. First, we'll configure the locale. To do this, open the locale.gen file using nano/etc/locale.gen and uncomment the relevant locale settings. For this setup, I'll uncomment n_india.utf8. Save the file and exit. Then, generate the locales by running localegen. After that, create the locale configuration file using the command echo lang equals n_india.utf8/etc/locale.conf. Now, our locale is set. Next, we'll configure the time zone. Run the command ln sf/usr/share/zoneinfo/asia Kolkata/etc/local time to set the time zone to Kolkata. Then, synchronize the system clock using timedetectable set ntp true, and set the hardware clock with uclock systic. You can verify the time using the date command. Now, let's set the hostname. Use echo your_hostname/etc/hostname to set your desired hostname. After that, we'll configure the hosts file by editing /etc/hosts. Add the following lines. Save and close the file. Next, we'll set the root user's password using the password command. After that, let's create a new user with user add mgwheel s/bin/bash your_username. Set the password for the new user using password your_username. Now, we'll give this user sudo privileges by editing the sudoers file with the command editor equals nano-vsudo. Find the line that allows members of the wheel group to run all commands and uncomment it. Save the file and exit. Finally, let's install the GRUB bootloader. Run pacman -grub to install it, then install GRUB to the disk with grub install/dev/vda. After that, generate the GRUB configuration file using grubconfig o/boot/grub/grub.cfg. The bootloader is now installed. To configure the network, install Network Manager with pacman -network manager. Then enable the service with system to enable Network Manager. Now, the internet will work when you boot into Arch Linux. With everything set up, let's test the installation. First, unmount the root partition with a mount, r/mnt, then reboot the system. After rebooting, the GRUB menu will appear, and we can boot into Arch Linux. I'll log in as the root user using the password we set earlier, and here we are. Arch Linux is successfully installed. At this stage, the system is running in CLI mode. To use it in a GUI environment, you'll need to install a desktop environment like KDE, GNOME, or XFCE. For this demonstration, I'll install XFCE along with essential packages like Zorg Server, X4, and Firefox. I will then install LightDM Desktop Manager. Once these packages are installed, we'll enable the Display Manager service by running system to enable them. After that, reboot the system. When the system reboots, the XFCE login screen will appear. Enter the username and password we set earlier to log in. Now, we are logged into XFCE, and Arch Linux is running in GUI mode. XFCE is highly customizable, allowing you to modify it according to your preferences. You can even configure it for penetration testing by installing tools like BlackArch, which offers a superior experience compared to Kali Linux. I've walked you through the complete installation of Arch Linux on a virtual machine step by step. I'll continue to create videos addressing potential issues and advanced configurations, so stay tuned for more content. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the bell icon to stay updated on my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.